Hey, good morning search fans. Thanks for coming back. As you can see, I'm in the stunning Kent countryside, surrounded by blossom. It is a Saturday. It is the morning of King Chas III's coronation. He's probably getting his little tit for put on as we speak. Now, I'm a history fan, I'm a patriot, you all know that. I'm not watching the ceremony because I can't be doing with all the privilege. I don't think it's right that the palace can spend an estimated, they won't tell us, they're public servants, but they won't tell us how much it is at the moment, an estimated 50 to 100 million. That's quite a broad spectrum. 50 to 100 million today's costing. We've got children that are going to school hungry, we've got nurses that can't pay their bills, but we can find 100 million to have some middle-aged man dipped in oil behind a screen and a hat put on his head. In this day and age, is it really necessary? I don't know. God bless King Chas and all that sail in him and all of that business. I'm not anti him. I just think priorities, we've got to look after the people, really, haven't we? Anyway, I've had my my coat of many pockets repaired. I'm on the Farthingfield just why not? And I'm just going to have a wander about. I've got no rhyme, no reason, no pattern, no plan. I'm just going to wander around, and whatever I find, I'm going to show you guys. Let's hope it's a good one. Fingers crossed. First coin of the day. Blew my ears off at 76. Let's give it a quick clean, and we'll have a look what this is. I think you'll just have to take my word for it, but it is a George V 1928 penny. It's drying out fast. Hey, coin number one. And his relative's getting crowned. His tenuous relative is getting crowned today. Here you go, George V. Ooh. I thought when it first came out we had something exciting. It may still be exciting, I just don't know what it is. Curious. Any ideas? No, me neither. Looks like we've got a nice little buckle. We have indeed. That's nice. A little shoe buckle, I would say. Or is that one from used to go on the calf there, on the old top of the bottom of the pantaloons or whatever they were called. It's alright, isn't it? The rain has just started, which they did actually predict, and I'm about as far away from shelter as I could possibly be. So that's great news. We'll see if my coat of many pockets is waterproof. Excellent. I'm not sure if that's a little weight or a little stud. It's quite flat on the bottom, suggests more of a little weight. Quite funky, isn't it? I like that. You wait around all day. Yeah, I know. Another coin, at long last. Bit of a scrub. Oh, it's king again. Going the other way this time. Hello, sir. Quick clean. We'll see what I find a date on him. Well, quick field clean. It's Edward the 7th, 1908. See that? There we go. Hello, sir. Job done. Now that, I would say, is quite old. It's fairly weighty, maybe silver. From a leather strap of some kind, I would have said at some point that pierced the leather and folded over on itself. I wouldn't have said it was a brooch or a badge or any kind. 2 spikes on either side which you stuck through the leather and bent over. Could have come from a belt, but that is quite cool. Happy days. Can we make that out? Tiny little button with it looks like a stag on it. Is it braying? Is that what they do, stags? When they do that, or when they're rutting and all that business, is it braying? Is that the right term? Probably not. Nice little livery button, there's something written around the edge. That should be identifiable. That'd be interesting. We'll have a look at that back at the ranch. Quality. Last few sweeps before home, and it's giving me a tiny little token just underneath that crud. If I put my magnifying glass and my glasses on, there's a 5. So there's a token of some kind. Give that a clean up. Later on, you know where? Back at the ranch. Fantastic. Bit of a brooch or a bit of a buckle. A bit funky, isn't it? Well, that looks as though that was pierced at one point. Give it a clean up back at the ranch, and maybe we can shed some light on that artifact. It's alright, isn't it? It's like the early punk rock studded belts it used to get, isn't it? Punk rock Romans. Brilliant. Okay. Just how pretty is that? Silvered. Is that thistle on the crown? That is lovely. That will clean up, hopefully, very, very nice indeed. You know what I'm going to say? We'll have a look back at the ranch. Fantastic. It is now Sunday morning. I haven't done any research or a roundup or anything just yet. I'm out here with Detective Dog Frank, who's running around. We've had to come back down because, once again, my coat of many pockets has proved awkward, shall we say, and I've lost a pair of glasses. So I'm here bright and early on a Sunday morning to try and find a pair of glasses so I can see. It would be a nice thing. I'll keep you posted. Come on, Frank, let's go and find them. Watch your gang, welcome back at the ranch. Let's just do that. There we go. Couple of pennies, little buckle, little cob, probably from a watch, I would have said, of some kind of plate from something or another. That way, do you think? Maybe? I don't know. That was quite nice in its day. See, you can just get a little bit of shine on that. That was silvered. It's pierced there and there, so there's obviously a pin somewhere there, so some form of brooch, I think. Not that old, I wouldn't have said, but a nice bit of thing anyway. Buttons, quite a few buttons. General service button. Control and trace that is very similar to the Scots Fusiliers badge button, but I think it's a livery button. That seems to be the general consensus on the forums on the internet that I discuss it with. They all seem to say some form of livery button. I can't trace the family crest. It's pretty much just the national emblem of Scotland. So there you go, that's quite nice. And we've got a little button with a reindeer on it. It just says reindeer. I can't trace anything about it. There you go, a little reindeer. I think it says reindeer finish. Not finish as in the country, but finish as in end. So there you go, reindeer finish, apparently. I have no idea. And then lastly, we have the very nice post-medieval conical stud. One of its hooks still intact, so that would have pushed through and bent over and held onto either a strap or a bit of harness or even a belt. So there you go. But today, out of all of these things, we are going to have a chat about this. So what we're going to have a quick chat about, if you remember from the last video, was that little button, the little silvered button with a star on it, from the 52nd of foot. The internet said that it was an exceptionally rare example of an officer's button from 1780, 1790. It's gone off to the powers that be to have a look at. Hopefully I'll get it back. So I haven't got it here physically with me. But I've done a bit of research on the 52nd of foot. They're a famous regiment. They're a well-decorated regiment. But I found this one guy, his name was Francis Grose. He was in the regiment between was 80-ish, somewhere around there. He was promoted, he started as an ensign, then got promoted within the 52nd. Then he went to the 85th of Foot and got promoted, and then the 95th of Foot and got promoted again, eventually becoming the governor of New South Wales, the convict colony. He left these shores and arrived in Sydney in 1792 on board the transport ship Pitt, P-I-T-T. Now, we'll come back to that. Now, when he arrived in Sydney, there was a population of 4,221 folk. 3,099 of them were convicts. Now, Mr. Grose, he changed all the previous governor's rules. The previous governor was quite a fair governor by all accounts, and he came along and changed all his rules. He divided it all up, all the land, to all his mates, all his cronies, and when the crops failed, he cut the rations for the convicts, so they all kind of starved and couldn't produce enough, so they got beaten and starved more and everything else. But he also made the mistake of paying a lot of his workers in spirits. So you work all week and then just get on it. So it was absolute chaos. It was a nightmare of a reign, really, for him. There was drunkenness and corruption, and it was a bit of a mess. But they did end up naming an area of the Blue Mountains after him. There is a Grose Valley, or a Gross Valley, whichever way you want to pronounce it, still just outside Sydney to this day. So they remember him, whether it was for the right reasons or not, who knows. I mean, he was a war hero. He got injured twice in the American Revolutionary War when he was still in the 52nd. So, you know, he did his thing. But coming back to the convict ship Pitt, now, I shall read from my list that I had prepared here. Amongst the convicts, the charges are as follows, for some. There was 27 charges of bestiality. Bestiality. This is in the 1780s, 1790s. 28 charges of child stealing. 870 charges of cow stealing. 44 charges of sacrilege. So for using the Lord's name in vain, you get carted off to the colonies. There was one chap who, he only lived till he was 27, so he didn't have much of a life, but he was carted away for life for stealing a handkerchief. One handkerchief got him life in the colonies. And his life was very, very short. 27, he was gone. So there you go. That's all you just get from that one little button. So hopefully I'll get it back, and if there's any more to tell you about that, I will. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next one. Mind how you go. Stay well. Ta-da.